Hard thing about red flags is trying to figure out which red flag is serious enough to end the relationship. This is something to think about. Like, what makes a red flag a red flag? Is it the seriousness of it, or is it just the mere sight of something that is incompatible with your standards? Episode 1 is about red flags. And so we have four ladies discussing the hard lessons they learned as a result of ignoring the red flags. We all do it. I mean, all of us have been in relationships and there were red flags. Anyway, let's jump into the episode. So we got four ladies. We got Kimberly, who's 54, Tennille is 45, Casey is 38, and Roxy is 33. So all four of these ladies are discussing previous relationships, right? So there was a common theme that I noticed with all four. All four felt like they were under pressure due to their age. They put themselves on a timeline and they made decisions regarding entering a relationship or how long they were going to stay in a relationship based on their age. And the magic number was 30. The magic number was 30. Another thing I noticed was the fact that they thought that they could change these men, but ultimately these men ended up wrecking their lives, child. They wrecked their lives. I mean, they left these relationships. Over half of them needed therapy afterwards. So let's talk about these ladies. All right, Kimberly. Kimberly, 54. Kimberly discussed her ex-husband. The red flags that she referenced was the fact that he basically was emotionally abusing her because she would not conform to his idea of a wife. And when I say idea of a wife, he wanted her to be the domesticated wife, cooking and cleaning and all those things. Well, Kim was not down for that. Kim was not raised like that. She was raised around men. Her father, basically, she was like this independent woman. So she was not down for all the cooking and cleaning. And so she approached the marriage like, okay, both can do this. We both can contribute. Well, baby, he wasn't having it. He was not having it. So he retaliated against her by withholding sex. Now, that was one of the things Kim loved about this man. He basically love bombed her. She was talking about how much sex they was having. He was so sweet. He was so kind. And then it went back to the fact that she said that he had two personalities. Like he could be that, all those nice things, and then he could be cold and distant. So she saw his cold side when she refused to conform to be Sally homemaker. She wasn't having it. She was a working woman. She wasn't having it. So he stopped having sex with her. He started ignoring her. She tried therapy and he was not participating in therapy. And then finally, Kim gave up, right? So after she asked for the divorce, they did live together for a while because, for whatever reason, I think it was maybe just to get things sorted, living arrangement, who's going to live where. So this is where Kim said that she saw this man flip out and saw his other side like within a matter of minutes, right? So she went down to the basement where he was sleeping and she was like, "Hey, you got a copy of the divorce papers?" And he was like, "What divorce papers?" And she's like, "The divorce paper. We're getting a divorce." And he snapped. He's like, "I don't know what you talking about. We're not getting no divorce. What divorce papers?" And so she's standing there just like in shock and awe. And finally she said she see him transition from that person to another person. He closes his eyes, he rolls his shoulders back, and he goes, "Oh, hey Kim, what's up?" And she's like, "Can I see a copy of the divorce papers?" He's like, "Oh yeah, I get that to you." And so she's like, "This man is crazy." Anyway, as far as Kim and her closure, she just her lesson learned was don't put yourself on a timeline, ladies. 30 is not the end all be all. If you're not, first of all, no one says you have to be married by 30. Stop putting that pressure on yourself. She said she did gain closure by getting therapy because she realized she had some unconscious trauma from being in this relationship with this man. Tennille. Tennille is now 45. She talked about the relationship she was in when she was 21. At the age of 21, she had a 3-year-old son, right? But she met this man that was 4 years older than her. Although he was only 4 years older, he was freaking controlling. He was acting like a father figure, and he was manipulative. He was very critical of her. But she even admitted that she accepted this because of what he was doing for her. She was 21, she had a child. I think at the age of 21, if you're 21 with a child, you want some stability, you want the family, you want this white picket fence. So she put up with a lot of crap from this man because she wanted those things. He was a provider, he was all these things. But he flipped out on her. He was controlling. He actually proposed to her 3 times, bought an engagement ring 3 times. She never got the rings. He would just send her pictures of them and be like, okay, if you were act right, or if you were this type person, I would marry you. But until then, you ain't getting this ring. So that's the type of game he was playing with her. And she even said, during I think the second proposal, he sent her a picture of the ring. He asked her parents for permission to marry her. I mean, it went the whole 9 yards. She was preparing for the wedding. She was making all these arrangements, and then up one day he pops up and say, "I changed my mind. I don't want to marry you." WTF? WTF? She stayed, right? So the final straw for her was, she said one night late, he woke her up, cursing her out, accusing her of sleeping with another man, called her a whore, and all of these things. And she got packed her things, grabbed her son, and she was leaving. She was at the door, right? Well, he stopped her and told her son, "Hey, your mama leaving because she slept with another man." So at this point, Tennille, she's had enough, but I think she stayed a little while longer. But while with him, she was questioning, she was having regrets, right? She regretted ever introducing him to her son, being in this relationship, staying in it for as long as she had. Um, she was concerned about how this man would affect her son in terms of how he saw women, how he communicated with women. And so she was worried. She was worried. But ultimately she ended up leaving him. She said when she first told him she was leaving, he didn't believe her, but pause before I get to her leaving. Okay, he had 2 baby mamas, 2 kids by 2 baby mamas, right? Was that him? No, he had one baby mama, Mary. And apparently he and Mary did not have a good relationship. Like Tennille didn't even mention the child or interacting with the child at all, or Mary. But she did say that in this relationship, she got knocked up and he didn't want the child. And they were talking about it. And she said he flat out told her, "Do you want me to treat you like I treat Mary?" So apparently he treated Mary really bad. So when he said that, Tania got the picture. She was like, okay, he crazy. He controlling. He don't want this baby. And do I really want to be tied to this man for 18 plus years? So she aborted the child. She aborted the child. Um, I think it was mostly him. He didn't want the child, and then she came to the realization that you know this was not a good idea. Okay, now let's get back to the breakup. So she leaves him. He initially did not believe she was going to leave him, but she ended up leaving him. Um, and her lesson learned was the fact that um, she got to love herself, be patient, and also be more secure because apparently this man tore her self esteem down. From that relationship, she learned that she had to love herself before anyone else can love her. So that was a great takeaway with Tennille. All right, Roxy. Roxy is currently 33. She was in the same position as Kimberly. She was 29 and she met this guy online, right? So they're dating, and she even admitted that, initially when they started dating, she was dating like three, four, five other men. So she was not dating him seriously. But at some point they became exclusive, and within 1 week of them becoming exclusive, he proposed. Um but he did not propose with a ring. She never got a ring. Instead, she got Power Rangers helmet. I don't know what the crap that is, but maybe they were into Power Rangers. I don't know. So that was red flag number one. Red flag number two, she said that he's the one that had two baby mamas, and both of them hated him. Another red flag, right? All right. So the third red flag, she said they went out to dinner with some friends. The bill came and he leaned over, was like, I ain't got no money. I had to pay my child support. So she's like, okay, cool. But here's the kicker. One of the friends at the dinner he had ordered this big, I think some nachos. And he was like, I'm not taking it. Whoever wants it can take it. And how about her man was the first one to grab it up and try to take it? He didn't pay for nothing, but he wanted the leftovers. Her man was broke. Her man was broke. And her friend told her, he was like, girl, he broke. That's not a good look. He can't even pay for dinner, but he want to scoop up all the doggy bags. And so I guess that was her breaking point, because she immediately talked about she cut ties with him, and she actually left the relationship. She didn't say how it happened, but I assumed it was a nasty breakup, because she mentioned the fact that, initially, had she seen him in the streets after they broke up, she would have threw hands, but she said she just passed that now, and if she see him, she'll be like, but she's no longer in that place where she want to square up with him. Casey was the more interesting one for me. Casey's 38. She did not mention what age she was when she met this man, but she met this man. He was actually her coworker, and at some point he was her boss. She pursued him heavy. She pursued him for a long time, and he finally gave in. For me, that was a red flag. I'm like, girl, if he did not show no interest as soon as you show interest, you should have kept it moving. But not Casey. Casey was on this man. She was on him. She wanted him, and she finally got him, so to speak. But she found out he had been separated for a year. He did not want her to post him on social media. Um, he even lied about his daughter, whether or not she was on social media. Apparently, he had like a preteen or teen daughter, and she was asking, well, what's her social media? I guess Casey wanted to follow the girl. Casey really wanted to low key lurk and stalk, I believe. But they were living together, right? They were living together. So he lied like his daughter didn't have social media. She found the girl's social media. And so Casey took it upon herself to post this man. So when she posted this man on social media, his mama hit her up and was like, "You messing up his marriage." And she like, "Messing up his marriage? He's separated." Casey's on social media, Instagram to be exact, and she see his ex-wife slash estranged wife. This woman has posted a picture of her and a newborn. So in that moment, Casey immediately gets suspicious. Her intuition kicks in. That's his baby. I know that's his baby. So she confronts him. He hits her with, well, I didn't tell you because I didn't even know if it was my child or not. And, Casey accepted that. She was like, okay. They kept rocking along. And then, of course, the ex wife slash estranged wife or whatever start calling all times of the night, all times of the day. And she's telling him, hey, you need to holler at her. Let her know to respect our home, because they live together, respect our boundaries. But he never would tell his ex-wife this. So the woman kept calling. And then she found out that his family, I guess his parents and whatever, didn't even know that he was living with Casey. And so she's accepting all of this crap. And then apparently they must have had a conversation where she had to let him know, hey, I'm not ready to meet this child. It's too soon. I'm not past it. I'm still feeling away, blah, 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 blah. How about he pops up at her job with this baby? He pops up at her job with this baby. So she said she sent her coworker out to tell him to leave. She was not coming down from her office to see this child. And she said, once she got home, she had to let him go. She was like, that was it for her. He was trying to force her into accepting this arrangement, this situationship, whatever it was, and that was the final straw for her, right? She said, "Oh, don't dim your light for someone in order for them to like you." Casey is super aggressive, and she also said that she's currently single. The other women did not give their current status whatsoever, but Casey made mention that she's single, and she said that men like the idea of her, but they don't commit to her, and that you need to find someone that is willing to accept you as you are. If you're strong, independent, aggressive, she said those words. Find a man that accepts that about you. So I get the impression that Casey is struggling with finding a man that is cool with her level of aggression, right? So yeah, yeah. That was the first episode. There's another episode currently out called Side Chicks. I'm sure that's gonna be a hot mess. I will be watching it. I will be reviewing it. But yeah, guys, drop down in the comments. Let's talk about some red flags. I think we've all seen them. Let's share our red flags. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Stay tuned to my channel for more videos. Thank you to my subscribers. I will see you all next time. Bye.